Right now, while you are staring at this screen, your brain is physically changing. It is either becoming stronger or quietly degrading, and you don't even notice it. Genetics have nothing to do with it. You are destroying your own IQ every single day. Tiny habits have turned your mind into a dopamine addict, demanding nothing but digital fast food. Before these mental parasites completely crush your potential, let's unmask the 7 habits that are secretly killing your intelligence right now.
The first habit, systematically erasing your intelligence, is the mindless scrolling of short videos. Every single time you scroll through a feed, your brain receives an instant, free shot of dopamine. This is exactly like feeding your mind with pure sugar.
The human mind is built to be efficient. Why strain yourself reading a complex book or learning when you can just move your finger and get instant pleasure? Short videos are completely rewiring your neural connections, shifting them to fit the format of split-second flashes of content. As a result, your ability to hold attention is actively atrophying. When you face a real, complex task, whether it is studying, working, or planning your future, your brain instantly switches into energy-saving mode. It literally falls asleep from boredom because there is no fast change of frames. You lose the skill of deep focus, without which any high IQ turns into completely useless baggage. You become mentally lazy, voluntarily trading your ability to think big for cheap digital entertainment. The second habit, secretly destroying your intelligence, is the illusion of multitasking, or the Caesar effect. Many genuinely pride themselves on the ability to write a work report, reply to chat messages, and watch a video out of the corner of their eye all at once. At that exact moment, a person feels incredibly productive and all-powerful. But this is a dangerous delusion. In reality, your mind is thrashing in convulsions. The human brain is physically incapable of thinking about 2 complex things at the exact same time. It simply jumps between them with terrifying speed, burning through tons of mental energy. Every single jump leaves behind what psychologists call attention residue. When you distract yourself for a split-second notification, a part of your cognitive resource stays trapped in that phone for another 15 to 20 minutes. As a result, you do everything at the exact same time, but in the most foolish and superficial way possible. You make stupid mistakes in places where, under normal conditions, you would have nailed it in a couple of minutes. Chronic multitasking literally castrates your capacity for deep analysis. You train your brain to superficially skim across the surface, voluntarily dropping your working IQ to the level of a confused child who is completely incapable of finishing a single thing they started. The third habit, systematically lowering your IQ, is chronic sleep deprivation. Today, it is fashionable to sleep for 4 to 5 hours, drink coffee by the liter, and brag about your insane productivity. But let's toss aside the boring lectures from doctors about the benefits of 8 hours and look straight at the facts. A brain without full, deep sleep is an unwashed, dust-clogged computer that hasn't been cleaned from the inside for years. While you are awake, your mind works actively, but inside it, products of mental decay inevitably accumulate, a sort of biological waste. Night is the only time when your organism launches a deep, thorough cleanup. The brain literally flushes itself with a special fluid, washing away all the toxins accumulated during the day, and carefully organizing the received information into the shelves of your long-term memory. When you regularly deprive yourself of rest for the sake of an extra hour of work or a series, You leave this toxic garbage to rot inside your head. The next day, your RAM is completely overloaded and your processor is overheated. Your reaction slows down. Your attention scatters, and basic logical tasks that you used to crack like nuts start causing a total block and a headache. You can consider yourself a genius, but a tired, dirty brain is physically incapable of delivering a high IQ. You are voluntarily forcing your powerful supercomputer to run on lowest settings, turning your once sharp mind into a slow, constantly lagging system unit. The fourth hidden killer of your intelligence is mental obesity, or the endless consumption of information without any action. You can listen to smart pop science podcasts for hours, watch lectures on psychology, quantum physics, or business, genuinely believing that at this exact moment, you are developing and becoming smarter than those who just scroll through memes. But this is the most dangerous illusion of the digital age. When you simply absorb someone else's smart thoughts, your brain receives easy dopamine. It tricks you, creating a pleasant feeling of false expertise. It feels like since you understood everything, that means you are now smart. But in reality, at that exact moment, your mind is functioning like a regular, passive television. If you do not use the gained knowledge in practice, do not retell it, do not argue with it, and create absolutely nothing based on it, this data completely evaporates in just a couple of hours. Your brain is a muscle that pumps only when it does the heavy work itself, searching for solutions, making mistakes, and creating. The habit of consuming content by the ton turns your mind into a lazy warehouse for someone else's junk. You completely unlearn how to think independently, generate unique ideas, and critically analyze reality. As a result, you become a walking encyclopedia of trivial facts, a smart fool whose real, practical intellect and ability to handle life's challenges are plummeting due to a total absence of your own mental effort.
The fifth habit, slowly but surely destroying your ability to think, is background poisoning, or chronic, hidden stress. Most people are used to starting and ending their day by reading Newsfeeds, endless texting and chats, and monitoring infinite notifications. You might think you are simply keeping your finger on the pulse of events, but for your psyche, this turns into a daily dose of slow poison.
The human brain is evolutionarily wired for survival in the wild. When you consume headlines about disasters, crises, or just other people's conflicts in the comments every single minute, your ancient limbic system sounds the alarm. Your body begins to pump out cortisol and adrenaline, shifting you straight into the fight or flight survival mode. The problem is, this mode was designed for brief flashes of danger, like running from a predator. In the modern world, you have kept this switch flipped on for years. When the brain gets stuck in survival mode, it forces a brutal optimization of its resources. Why waste energy on complex logic, philosophy, or long-term planning when you need to survive? At that exact moment, the prefrontal cortex, the area of the brain responsible for your highest IQ, critical thinking, and smart decision-making, is literally powered down. Your mind narrows to the level of primitive animal instincts and immediate emotions. You become irritable, easily led, and suggestible, completely losing the ability to soberly analyze facts and make deep, conscious conclusions. The sixth habit, erasing your mental potential, is the total refusal to use your own memory in favor of a smartphone. Why remember the way to a new place when you have a Navigator? Why keep the phone numbers of loved ones, important dates, historical facts, or formulas in your head when any answer can be Googled in 3 seconds? We have turned our phones into external hard drives for our minds, completely outsourcing the function of storing information. But our brain operates under a ruthless biological law. Use it or lose it. Your memory is not a static warehouse. It is a dynamic network of neural connections that demands constant training. Remembering routes, keeping numbers and facts in your head, all of this activates the hippocampus, the area responsible for spatial orientation and working memory. When you trust gadgets with absolutely everything, these mental muscles begin to rapidly atrophy from a total lack of use. As a result, your brain completely loses its plasticity and flexibility. It becomes physically painful for you to hold a long chain of thoughts in your mind, to link different facts together and see hidden patterns. Powerful pause of impact. You completely lose the skill of mental maneuvering. By a cruel irony of fate, while your smartphone becomes smarter with every single update, your own intellect rolls backward. Stern, turning you into a mental cripple who, without a screen in front of their eyes, cannot even navigate their own city or remember the most basic things. The seventh and most insidious habit systematically extinguishing your intellect is the comfortable swamp syndrome, or a complete flight from mental discomfort. This happens when your everyday life is brought to total automation. You go to the exact same familiar job, where you perform predictable tasks, communicate with the exact same people, and in the evenings, you choose the easiest, most predictable leisure possible: familiar games, habitual series, or effortless chats. Many people consider such a life to be stability and comfort. But for your intellect, this is a death sentence. Our brain is incredibly lazy by its very nature, and if you don't force it, it will never strain itself on its own. It develops, builds new neural connections, and raises its IQ only in those exact moments when it is hard. That very slight mental grinding, when you stumble over a complex task, try to learn an unfamiliar language, figure out a heavy scientific book, or master a completely new skill, that is the physical process of your mind growing. If you consciously avoid this tension and drop any task the exact moment it becomes difficult, your brain falls completely asleep. Without regular challenges, the neural pathways that are left unused simply die off from a total lack of necessity. Intellect cannot just stand still. If you don't force your mind to evolve every single day through overcoming difficulties, it automatically begins to degrade. If your life is never difficult for you, your IQ is rapidly plummeting. Your intellect is not a frozen stone that you received at birth. It is a highly plastic clay, and you are changing its shape every single second with your own hands. Every time you choose a 1-minute video over a complex book, turn on multitasking, or outsource your memory to a smartphone, you are taking a conscious step backward. You are submissively giving way to digital degradation. Remember, you are not a random passenger in your own head. You are the driver, and it is entirely up to you to decide where your mind will arrive. At absolute clarity, sharpness of thinking, and mental power, or at the junkyard of a superficial, externally controlled flock. Right now, give your brain its very first honest exam. Write in the comments below, which of these 7 habits do you catch yourself doing the most often? And which one are you ready to completely drop today? Force your mind to do the actual work. And of course, subscribe to the channel if you are truly ready to take back control over your own mind. See you in the next episode.